Hey, it's Ray Brown coming to you from the home base in Las Vegas. And today I just wanted to share with you a couple of things that I love. And it's not what you think. These things are not necessarily worth $1 million. But let's start with what you see behind me in our kitchen, and that is the bottles of wine on top of the plant cell. Just showing here, it's our kitchen. Here's some things that I love, and they go back quite a long time. And that's these bottles, and they're on a shelf on the top, very top, overlooking our kitchen. There's a plant shelf, but instead we've put old wine bottles. And in fact, just other side of those, of the plant, you see two champagne bottles, Perrier-Jouet. Those are actually from our wedding. And to the right of that is our Trichobaron Auslese, a little wine, very sweet wine that we bought for our engagement party and drank at our engagement party. And some decorative things, but mostly these are all wine bottles that have been around our house, and we just have them put up where we can see there's a Everly brand wine bottle up there, which is my mother's maiden name, and in fact she's related to those winemakers. We even have a bottle from our last trip to Rancho Oso in California. You know, there's so much that can tell you a story about who you are and where you've been, and this story can be told sometimes by just stuff that you have accumulated over the years. And when we talk about stuff that I love, this is the type of stuff that we have. In fact, I have two daughters, and they, believe it or not, have the old Muppet glasses from when they were young. Yeah, they got lead paint on the outside, but they're from McDonald's, and you know, they still have those, and it's cherished memories of when they were young. And I've got one of those, this right here. This is one of the original Mickey Mouseketeers plates. Our family bought a whole set of these back in the late 50s, and this is the only piece that I have. I have 7 brothers and a sister, and when our parents passed away, these were divided amongst us, and so I think each one of us has at least one piece of the set. I can't tell you how many children have eaten off of these plates, but to me, this is a remembrance of my childhood. This was bought when I was 5 or 6, and that's 60 years ago now. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is something that probably everybody has in their house, and that is a mug or a cup or a glass or something wearable of their favorite NFL football team. Well, could also be baseball or basketball or hockey, but in my case, it's, if you know me, you know this already, the Green Bay Packers. My favorite team, and of course, God's favorite team, because his initial is on the cup and on every type of merchandise that they sell. The G does not stand for Green Bay, by the way. And so I believe it stands for God. And you don't believe me about this? I'll tell you what. You Google it. And it doesn't stand, the G doesn't stand for Google either. Here's one that is fairly old. My daughters are, I'm not going to say how old they are, but they're pretty close to their late 30s. So I didn't say exactly how old they are, but that's getting up there. Anyway, when I was, before I busted up my back, I was a skier. And when they were little, and I want to say they were 3, 4 years old, they bought me this cup. I still have it. I still cherish it. And as far as they're concerned, I was the best skier. Well, I did race, and yeah, I was probably better than average, but hey, I was far from the best. But in their minds, I was the best, and you know, I still love this cup to this day because it meant that they love me, and that's the biggest thing I love. Now this one, my daughter Kim got for me at the University of Ottawa. It's Papa or Dad, and it's symbolic. And what it's symbolic of is the fact that despite that she's been her whole life in a wheelchair, she was able to complete her schooling. She first went to the University of Ottawa, and then she went to a school in Toronto. And I am really proud that she was able to complete her schooling, and she did that pretty much on her own. And that's what this cup represents to me. Here's another cup I'm very, very proud of. If you ever get to Spokane, Washington, you have to go to Pilgrims Market. That's my brother's store, and this is a cup that I got a few years ago now. And it's the 10-year anniversary of Pilgrims Market. And why I love this is because it's something that represents my brother. It's all about health, which if you know me, that's what I'm about. And it's about something that he dreamed about and made it happen. And that is this store. If you ever want to get to a great health store and you're in the Spokane area, and actually this particular store that we're talking about is actually in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which by itself is really, really beautiful. So if you get up there, stop in, ask for my brother Edward Brown, and tell him you saw his cup on the internet on YouTube. Maybe my favorite cup is this one. And this is a picture that my granddaughter Soleil did for me maybe a year or so ago. This is her one of her early masterpieces in kindergarten. And you know, there was a singer here from Las Vegas who said, even though you might have expensive art, which we do, the reality, there's nothing more beautiful than the pictures that hang on your refrigerator by magnets. And this is true. I actually have the original of this. I want to get this picture, which I had put on this coffee cup, made with framed and everything. I had her name put on it to immortalize this, and it says, "World's Greatest Grand Artisan, Soleil." And I love Soleil. I love Celine, my other granddaughter, but Soleil and I go back 6 years. Celine is not nearly that old, and Soleil and I have a special relationship because we spent so much of her early life together. I have just two more to show you, and one is my wife's cup, and I don't even know if she knows the memory of this. And both of these two cups here are the oldest cups that we have as far as I know. And they both go back to the year 1983, which is pretty much the start of our relationship. And this is a purple cup. And it is due to the fact, it's all purple, due to the fact that her sorority was Sigma, Sigma, Sigma. And the colors of Sigma, Sigma, Sigma were, you guessed it, purple, or that light lavender. The fact is that this cup she got when there was a sorority function where they got to take their boyfriends to a meeting, and they got a little basket and everything. But that was the first time in public that she actually introduced me to somebody other than her family as her boyfriend. And this particular cup is a remembrance of that to me every time that I see her drinking from it. I don't drink from this cup. That's hers, and it's a memory for me. I hope it's a memory for her too. And lastly is this one. Again, I'm not sure which of these cups are older. Notice it says Lakeshore Sports Car Club. Well, I used to be in racing and professional rallying, but this was just a gimmick rally. But I did it with one of my brothers. The curious thing is no one can remember who the other brother was, but I'm pretty sure that it's one of either Mike, Paul, Tim, or Tom, which are the four youngest brothers. And I suspect it's probably Paul, Tim, or Tom. And I know it's 1983 because, well, it says so right on the cup. And we actually took first place. And as I told you, this was not a professional rally. So instead of getting a ton of money, this is what we ended up with. But you know what? I still have it, and I still love it. And it's something that I use every day. And I wash it by hand so that the dishwasher doesn't damage the paint that's on it. It's kind of a funny thing, but you know what? This is, these are the things that we love. Okay, so those are just some of the things that I love. And I'm sure you all have memories that are around your house or in your RV or up in the cottage, wherever you keep your stuff that you really treasure. And you know, if it's packed away in a box somewhere, take it out, because these are the things that are really important in life. It doesn't matter that they didn't cost anything. Bring it out and enjoy it. And oh, this painting behind my head, that is the exploding peacock head. Well, it hangs in our hallway, and it is something that my wife and I bought. In fact, the first painting, it's an actual original oil by Nat Larson that we bought way back in our early years. And you know what? It also has a significant thing for me, and one of those things I love. Hey, it's Ray Brown. Coming to you from home base, about to take off, but I wanted to share these things before I got out the door. Thank you for indulging me, and God bless you.